Tomorrow we have our Kadashi meeting, so we won't have class tomorrow. But that's good also because we're finishing our Vaishnav Tattva today. We're going to learn one more verse today about Vaishnav Tattva. And then the day after tomorrow, everyone who's in the class will take their turn to speak for at least 10-15 minutes. So if we don't cover everyone tomorrow or the day after, then we'll do it over a few days. Each person can speak as long as they want. 10-20 minutes is good. So they can quote the verses we've learned, but it doesn't have to be in a chronological order. It should be from your heart, from your own words. Like we memorized, and then we're following this process we talked about, right? Memorize, internalize, realize. So you should be meditating on these verses and thinking about what they mean for you in your life. And then you can speak. It's not like, okay, now I have to speak for 10 minutes like a parrot. Okay, this verse, this translation, this meaning, this verse, this. You can do that as well. That's okay. That's fine. But we want to try and do it in such a way that it comes from your own heart or your own words. So it can be according to the own order. But you should try to mention the verses we've learned about Vaishnav Tattva and then talk about Vaishnav Tattva. You can read also. You can mention things that you've read or things you've heard in the class, or your own ideas and realizations. But it's good for you to get a chance to speak, because if you speak about it, it becomes more concrete for you, more fixed in your own mind. Because we hear a lot, but when we also repeat, then it makes it more fixed in our mind. Then we have to think, okay, I have to also speak. Then we have to think about it a lot more. If you never have to speak, then it's not so, you don't have to remember as much. If you're not comfortable, then that's one thing, but you don't have to be shy. We're all family, so you don't have to be shy, and we don't have to do it for online audience like we are here, unless you want. If you want, we can do it for online audience also. It's up to you. Because ultimately, Gurudev said that his sons and daughters should be strong preachers. So if you want, you don't have to be on the camera or recorded, but if you want, you can also do that, and we'll put it on our web channel. We'll put it on a YouTube channel. If you want, we can also put it on a YouTube channel. Purdy said that it should be seen, that people can see that, the devotees here are learning and active, not just eating and sleeping. Like every day we have 3-4 classes. Krunipur is also doing a class for Harinam Chintamani. So every day we have morning class, after lunch class, then 4 o'clock class, nighttime class, 4 classes a day actually now. And then kirtan, 10 artis. So it's a very busy program. So Purdy said he wants people to see that we have a nice active bhakti program here. But Gurudev wants, why are we learning the slokas? We've talked. The main reason we're learning is so that we can imbibe these teachings in our heart and live them in our life. That's the main reason. If we don't live it in our life and we're only speaking to others, then this is hypocrisy. Krishna says that makes us a cheater, a hypocrite. So we're learning it to follow in our lives, to make it one with our heart so we can follow Krishna's teachings, Guru's teachings. But then also we share, because Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita in the end that those devotees who share my message are most dear to me. Krishna says in the end of the Gita, those devotees who share my message are most dear to me. So it's also important, and it's our Guru Seva. Why are we sharing with others? To please our Gurudev. Gurudev told us, you are my sons and daughters, I want you to be strong like lions and tigers. In Australia one time, Gurudev said, he even said to his disciples, he said, my darling daughters. He said, I don't want you to be timid like kittens. You should preach like tigers or tigers. And also he would tell his brahmacharis, I want my brahmacharis to know how to give class to 15,000 people and also how to mend shoes and fix cloth. So he said you should know how to do everything, because this is all part of your service to Krishna and Guru. So this is why we're learning. So we're learning first and foremost to apply it in our own life and to make ourselves strong on the path of bhakti. This is called Paramartik Shraddha. First level of bhakti is Shraddha, like Purdy was saying last night. But this is first like tender, like a soft flower petal, very easily broken. Komal Shraddha. Komal Shraddha means very soft or tender or weak. But when you develop knowledge of scripture, first, like we said, first Gyan, then Vigyan, first knowledge, but then that develops to realization. When you develop realization of scripture, then your faith in bhakti becomes very strong. At that point, it's not just ordinary faith then. People say you shouldn't have blind faith. When you come to the Paramartik Shraddha level, it's not blind faith. It's based on realization, your own internal experience of the validity of this line. And then your faith is strong like a 1,000-old tree, that lives for thousands of years. These trees, No matter how big the hurricane is, the storm or whatever comes, the tree doesn't break or shake. It may shake, the branches may shake, but the tree will remain strong. When you have a very small amount of faith, komal shraddha, weak, tender faith, then one elephant or one offense can come and uproot that. But when your faith becomes paramartik, very strong and fixed through sastra knowledge, then it becomes like a tree. And it can give shelter to others also. Then you can not only help yourself, but you're also helping others with the foliage, the shade, fruits. And you can be like a fruit tree also. But to develop to that stage, we need to develop in our path of bhakti through these different stages. So we're trying to come to the stage of paramartik shraddha. That means faith based on full realization of all scriptural teachings, but realization, not just external knowledge. Realization, that means we have to learn these first. First we develop gyan. Without gyan, we can't get to vigyan. Without knowledge, we can't get to realization. So first we learn it, we memorize it, then we internalize it, then we can gradually start to realize it and make relationship with it. We also talked yesterday about how each verse has a personality behind it. And so when we learn the verses, we're praying to the personalities, please reveal yourself to me. Please reveal yourself to me. So that's what we're trying to do. So that's why I was saying, tomorrow is our meeting that we have every 2 weeks. You can sit, you're blocking your view. Okay? Then the next day we're going to have like oral exam, where each person, if we don't cover it in one day, we'll do it over a few days, but each person will speak for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, as they like, about Vaishnav Tattva, with the slokas we learned from your own heart, from your own words. And if you want, we're saying we can do it on camera, otherwise if you want, it doesn't have to be on camera, but we are saying that Gurudev said his sons and daughters should be powerful preachers, and they should share Mahaprabhu's message. And Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, those who share my message are most dear to me. And Mahaprabhu said, Prithiveti ache jata nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe mora nam. Mahaprabhu said, my name will be sung throughout, in every town and village of the earth. And also in Sasha it says, Brahmanda, that Bharata bhumite manusya janma jar, janma sartha kori koro para upakar. Those who have taken birth in this earth, this is the greater Bharatvarsha, they should help others by sharing Krishna's message. Mahaprabhu said, Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Koro Krishna Siksha. You should speak about Krishna, worship Krishna, chant Krishna's names, and share this message with others. But unless you've thoroughly imbibed it yourself and you follow yourself, then your sharing will not be impactful for others. It won't be so helpful also. When you share from your own realization, it will be able to transform other people's lives also. Otherwise, people will see, okay, it's just like Purdy calls hawker speakers. People who are out on the side of the road, like, buy this car, come rent this apartment, just passing out pamphlets. It's not so impactful, doesn't make such a big impression in people's hearts. When it's from your own realization, when you're preaching, then one person can become like a Maharati. In the Mahabharata, there's different types of soldiers. One soldier cannot even fight with one person. They're defeated. But then like Arjuna, Bhima, one person can fight with 10,000 people. So the point is, if you fully develop your realization, when you're preaching, you can change 10,000 people very easily and attract 10,000 people. But if you don't develop realization and spiritual power, chid bal, spiritual power or bhakti bal, then you can't change one person even. This is the example. They're called adirath. Adirath means in a battle, they're trying to fight with one person, they'll be defeated. One ordinary person will defeat them. And then the Pandavas, they're like Maharatis, they can fight with 10,000, 100,000 people at one time. So if we're preaching, but we don't have realization, we can't even change one person. But if we develop bhakti, develop spiritual bal, strength, develop realization, when we preach and share this message, then we'll change tens of thousands of hearts. We see like who are Vaishnavas who are preaching, Acharyas who are preaching. That's why it's important that we follow in our own life. And Swami Prabhupada, immediately he sent people out preaching. But this was part of their sadhana and seva also. But this is why we're sharing.